What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 156, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode is going to be my running back week 12 stardom sit-em, every single matchup here, and BYEMAGGEDON is here, guys. We're going to have the Atlanta Falcons, Bijan, Buffalo Bills, James Cook, Cincinnati Bengals, Chase Brown, Jaguars, ETN, Bigsby, Jets, Breece Hall, and Saints, Alvin Kamara. Those are monster names that are on a bye this week. So I'm going to try and sift through all of this to give you the best plays on this BYEMAGGEDON dangerous week in fantasy football here. I'll give you a green bar for the must starts, yellow bar if I'm in the middle, and a red bar if it's not. And before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscription. It helps me out a ton. I will be live this weekend as well. Turn that bell on so you know when I'm live. I got tons of different content creators coming on this week for different shows. We'll be answering and covering everything fantasy football for you guys. And if you can't make the live show, you can always drop any comment you want down below. It does not have to pertain to this video. I try to answer every single one of them. That's one of my goals as a content creator this year, is to get to every single comment and help you guys get that weekly win and get you that ultimate goal of the championship, guys. And all my rankings are out. Now my wide receiver quarterback stardom sit-ems are out. This is my running backs, and I'll get to my tight ends after this, and I'll have it all out before the Thursday this week. Sorry I missed last week, man. It was hectic with life, but I will get it this week. Let's dive into my running backs for week 12. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my running back stardom sit-em board here for week 12. The top black box is always the away team. The bottom box is always the home team. And before we dive into the Thursday night football grunge fest at the Dog Pound, I like to throw a shout out to the co-host of my show. I use a lot of his tweets and research he sends me behind the scenes. And I got all of his links are in the description. It is Big Draft Energy. Take a second, click it, support the family. He'll be on my show this week. I'll be on his show afterwards. Amazing content creator, amazing content behind the scenes. And if you guys do DFS and Pick-Ems, this is stuff you like. Make sure you gamble responsibly, though. So what we're going to look at here, and you can find this at Big Draft Energy on Twitter or Big Draft Headquarters as well. You can see all his Pick-Ems as well on his YouTube at Big Draft Energy. So make sure you check all those out. Again, they're all down below in the description. Now, what we're looking at here, guys, this is running backs with the most advantageous matchups in week 12 for touchdowns. So this is where you take your phone out, take a picture, screenshot on your PC, or you can just head to his Twitter and smash him a follow, and you can find it there. So what we're looking at here, and this is why I'm still high on Kareem Hunt in my running back rankings, because I don't think they're going to use Pacheco that well, but we'll get to that in the video here. So obviously Carolina, the worst versus the run. Dallas, Brian Robinson Jr. smash play. Ramondre Stevenson, Rico Dowdle, Achane. This is what you want to save here. Now moving on to the next one here. This is going to be the most advantageous matchup for rushing yards. Again, you see Kareem Hunt at the top because Carolina can't stop anything versus the run. James Conner, Bucky Irving, Achane. That's why I'm so high on Achane. Top 5 in both categories. So screenshot those or check out his Twitter. Drop my guy a follow. All the sports appreciated. He's part of the fantasy football family over here. Now, heading into this Steelers-Browns division grunge game, the weather looks absolutely terrible in this game, guys. Right now, AccuWeather has it at 40 degrees, possible rain, mud show possible. I mean, 36.5 over under. They don't expect a lot of points, and neither do I in this game. So, on the Steelers side, this is where the cold weather ground and pound is going to come in for Najee Harris. Najee Harris has been absolutely balling in fantasy football lately. He's been getting it done. Jaylen Warren, with BYEMAGGEDON week happening, with all the running backs out, you can possibly throw him into a flex. Don't love it, don't hate it with him. You're going up against the Cleveland Browns run D. It is a very good run D. They rank 7th versus the run. They have 18.6 points a game, 19th in the red zone, so a little higher touchdown upside there. They only allow 81 yards, which is top 10 there as well, and about a touchdown every other game. But when you're in a division, cold, ugly weather game, this is where the running game is going to come into effect more than the passing game, in my opinion. And I like both these running backs as starts or flexes this week. On to the Browns side, I'm staying away from both of them. This Pittsburgh Steelers defense is lights out, and I know that it could be a run game. You can see a lot of Nick Chubb, like I said, with the weather. And Jerome Ford out-snapped Nick Chubb last week, and I'm just not touching it. I just don't think they're going to have a good run game. No one really runs well against the Steelers. They rank 11th versus the running back, giving up 21.2. 8th in the red zone, so a top 10 defense all the way around. 78 yards, which is top 10 there, and about a 0.8 chance for a touchdown. And it's just been a struggle for Nick Chubb. I mean, he had a smash matchup versus Saints last week. I had him as a start and absolutely failed there. And all of a sudden, Jerome Ford is seeing more snaps. So we could see a 50-50 split, and going up against the Steelers defense, I'm staying away from it. Tennessee Titans and red hot Will Levis dropping 20 fantasy points in back-to-back weeks versus good defenses are headed in to face the Houston Texans, who are 7-4, looking to solidify their playoff spot right now. So when you're looking at the Tennessee Titans here, this is an interesting one. So we don't know if Tajay Spears is going to clear concussion protocol. If Tajay clears concussion protocol with BYEMAGGEDON week, I would put both these guys in yellow, right? Don't love it, don't hate it. If Tony Pollard is the full running back out there and Tajay Spears is out with BYEMAGGEDON and all the running backs gone, you're probably going to have to start this guy. Now, the matchup is not great versus Houston. This is their strength, is stopping the run. They rank 6th versus the running back, giving up 17.9, 12th in the red zone. It's about a top 8 defense all the way around, 77 yards allowed a game to the running back position, which is top 7 as well. So this is a very good run D. They only allow 0.3 touchdowns a game. So that's 3 touchdowns every 10 games. It's not great here in this situation. But again, with everyone out and the BYEMAGGEDON week happening, if you have Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears is out, you're probably going to start him, although I don't love it. And again, if Tajay makes it out there and they're back to their split, I'd put them both in yellow because I don't love it and don't hate it, and you're probably going to need a running back to throw in there. Houston Texans side. Joe Get Silly Mixon is the number 1 running back in fantasy football in points per game. Obviously, he's not the number 1 overall because he had an injury that held him out a couple games in the season. But this man is on an absolute tear. This matchup is not great versus Tennessee Titans. They do rank 14th versus the running back, but they rank 29th in the red zone because the game script tends to go against them and they give up a lot of touchdowns. Exactly what happened to the Dallas Cowboys last week. I called 2 touchdowns for Joe Mixon. I didn't think he'd get 3, but he absolutely destroyed them. And you're in a game where Titans are very good versus the pass. So you're probably going to see another boatload show of Joe Mixon here, probably 20-plus touches again, and another touchdown, possibly 2 in this game, because the Tennessee Titans season is pretty much over. And their strength is the pass. So you're starting Joe Mixon here, and good handcuff to have the rest of the way is Dameon Pierce if you own Joe Mixon. One of the highest over-under games of the week, and one of the games that I'm going to be enamored to watch here, is the 9-1 Detroit Lions heading in to the Colts, who were 5-6 and got the big win last week. Man, I had Anthony Richardson as a smash, and he absolutely smashed. Now, Detroit Lions side, guys, doesn't matter who they play. No, it does not. I don't even need to talk about the defense. You're starting Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery the rest of the season, unless injury happens to one of them, right? They average 19 and 18 points across fantasy football. They're both going to be they're both in the top 11 of running backs. And the Indianapolis Colts is a fantasy football pot of gold. You're starting both these running backs. There's really nothing else to talk about. Best offensive line, Sonic and Knuckles, best tandem there is. Get them in your lineups. Now, interestingly enough here, guys, this is where I'm going to stray a little bit away from the normal pack of content creators here, right? So when I'm looking at Jonathan Taylor, right, and I know he's a big name and it's BYEMAGGEDON week with all the running backs out, you're probably going to start him, right? I don't love the start with Jonathan Taylor this week. I'm going to put him in yellow. I'm going to put him as you can start him, you can sit him, because I think the matchup's going to be really, really ugly here. So I'm going to describe it in a couple ways. The Detroit Lions are number 4 versus the running back. They only allow 17.6 a game on the season. They're number 4 on the season, or number 4 in the red zone as well. Top 5 defense across the board, only allowing 72.1 yards. Top 5 there as well. And they allow a touchdown at a 0.7 rate. So not even 1 touchdown a game. Now, last game, you saw Jonathan Taylor get 27 touches in the game, which is, you can't ignore that. Absolutely massive RB1 workload. Only 57 yards. He only averaged 2.3 yards per carry against the Jets. The Jets have been gashed by everyone. Now you're going up against a better front and a more powerful offense in the Detroit Lions, who just ran the Jags out of the building with their starters up 30 points in the game in the fourth quarter. So Dan Campbell sending a message that they are out for blood to score as many points as they can. Jonathan Taylor, not that great of a pass catching back. He does get a little work here and there. Colts season, kind of fighting for the playoff spot. I don't see him coming out. I see him playing every single snap in this game, no matter what. It's just going to be a tougher matchup for me for him. That's why I have him lower in my rankings video as well. The Lions are coming, man. The freezing cold defensive battle of the 8-2 Vikings heading into the 4-6 Chicago Bears at Soldier Field is going to be at 48 degrees. It's going to be super, super cold in this game. And when I'm looking at this game here, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to place this a little different here. So obviously Aaron Jones side, I don't know what's going on with him. I'm not starting this guy in fantasy football right now. He's either the injuries are piling up, he's turning to age 30, 5 MCL injuries to his right knee, or else they're trying to save him for the playoff stretch, which, I mean, could cost you here. I mean, if they don't use him, like you saw Cam Akers get the same amount of use as Aaron Jones did last game and there's no injury. So that was weird. And this should say Cam Akers, but right now I think it's going to say Ty Chandler. You could put either one. I'm not starting Cam Akers or Ty Chandler. They're just handcuffs. And if I own Aaron Jones, I'm trying to handcuff Cam Akers right now because I don't know what's going on with him. But you're going up against the Chicago Bears defense, which is a very good defense, right? They rank 20th versus the run, give it a 23.2. They rank 10th in the red zone. They're a very good front seven. 109.7 yards allowed, which is about bottom 15 in the NFL there, and a touchdown a game. But it's just become an ugly run game for the Vikings here, and I don't trust it at all. So I'm not starting any of these running backs this week. I'm going to put them both on sit-ups. And on to the Bears side, you got DeAndre Swift now with the injury update. Doesn't look good for him. Pulled like a hammy midweek. Didn't say anything in the game. That's weird. And when I'm looking at Roschon Johnson, he saw a lot of work with the new OC. They fire Shane Waldron. They bring in Thomas from the McVay tree. It's cold weather time. You start to see the bigger running backs get more involved. And what do you see? You see 10 carries. You see a touchdown. He's been getting the goal line work forever. So if you need a plug-and-play possible running back that can fall into the end zone, and if DeAndre Swift is out, you're starting him, even in a tough matchup, just because there's so many running backs on the bye. The Minnesota Vikings are number 2 versus the run. Very tough matchup. 16.8 points allowed. Number 5 in the red zone. Very tough defense. 65 yards allowed. Third best in the NFL. So all of it screams stay away from this entire game. But if you need a throw of a possible running back that can get a touchdown, I'm going to go with Roschon Johnson in this game over everyone because DeAndre Swift's a little banged up, and I don't really like any of these matchups. But again, you're on BYEMAGGEDON, and if you need to throw one in, Roschon Johnson's the one I would go with here. The now 9-1 Kansas City Chiefs. Thank God. I hate to say it, Chiefs fan, but I'm a Niner fan, man. I did not want to see you guys go undefeated. I cannot stand every time you guys beat us, man. But you guys are heading in to face the Carolina Panthers. This is the worst run D possibly in the past 10 years of the NFL with the yards and points they allow. Now, Isaiah Pacheco, we just saw the update. Practice is limited today. They say he's eyeing a return. Does not mean he's going to be back. I don't think the Chiefs are going to rush him back to play the Carolina Panthers. I mean, if you guys do, drop in the comments, let me know, because I don't think that's going to happen. They don't need him at all in this game. So when I'm looking at this game here, Kareem Hunt can be an absolute smash start for me. And you have to just look at these numbers of what I mean. In the past decade, probably the worst rushing team there is. They're giving up 30 points a game to the running back position, dead last behind the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're giving up 11.2 points to the running back in the red zone alone, which is dead last. That's 5 points more than any other team behind the Dallas Cowboys. 5-point average. That's how bad it is. 133.9 yards allowed to the running back position. Dead last, only behind the New York Giants, who allow 123. So 10 more on average they give up than any other team, which is absolutely bonkers. That's why everyone eats against them. 1.4 rushing touchdowns a game, only behind the Dallas Cowboys, who give up 1.3. And then the next after that is like a 0.9. So, Jesus, this is an absolute smash matchup. And I'm honestly going to leave Pacheco in red because I don't think he's going to be out there for this game. If he's out there, temper your expectations. I'd put him in yellow. I don't like the smash start for him. I don't think he's going to come back off this injury and be lights out crazy. I mean, look at Jalen Waddle last year, same injury. Look at Jalen Waddle still today from that injury. He doesn't look the same. And Isaiah Pacheco runs like crazy. So I'm be kind of worried if they rush him out here against the Carolina Panthers, who are going to get whopped. Now, when you look at the Carolina Panthers side, I know Chuba has been out of his mind crazy good, right? I know all of this. But you have the Jonathan Brooks debut coming, and you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the number 1 rush defense. 14 points, 14.9 a game, number 1. Number 7 in the red zone, 52.2 yards allowed. That means that's number 1 in the NFL as well. And a touchdown every other game they give up. So even on BYEMAGGEDON week here, if you have Chuba Hubbard, I am saying right now he is not going to hit his projection. Do not start him unless it's desperation, because you're going to see Jonathan Brooks debut, and you're playing the number 1 run D, and the Chiefs, the game script might just tend towards more of a pass, so maybe Chuba gets involved in the pass game, but he's not going to have a good day on the ground, and I do not like the Panthers this week. Here we go, baby. Monday Night Football. Baltimore Ravens 7-4, headed in to face the Los Angeles Chargers 7-3. Over under 49.5, and I think it's going to be way more north of that. I think it's going to be a 30-30 game, like 32-35, high-scoring game here, even though you watch the Baltimore Ravens play the Steelers in a grunge match, which they always do in a division rival. I think it's going to be a different game here on Monday Night Football. So when I'm looking at the Ravens here, you're always starting King Henry. Let's be real. Doesn't matter who you're going up against. Doesn't matter what the matchup is. Anything could happen where a PI happens to get you to the one or a holding call or whatever it is, and this guy's going to fall into the end zone. So even when I'm looking at the Chargers' run defense, right, they do rank third. That's a top defense. They give up 17.2 points. They're number one in the red zone. Very tough to score on. King Henry, that doesn't stop me at all. 81.9 rushing yards allowed, which is top 10, and only one touchdown allowed on the season running. Very tough, but it's King Henry. You're not sitting this guy no matter what. I don't care who you're playing against. I don't care what it is. Cold weather time. Games are about to hit the fourth quarter where everyone else is getting tired. He's getting stronger, and he's ready to run people over. Now, when I'm looking at the Chargers side here, I'm staying away from both running backs in this game. I know J.K. Dobbins hit the game-winning run last week for his second touchdown, dives into the end zone, comeback player of the year. I'm super happy for him. I get all that. You're going up against the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens' weakness is the pass game, not the run game. They only allow 61.1 yards, which is second best behind the Kansas City Chiefs. They rank 10th versus the run, 14th in the red zone, and they give up a touchdown every other game. And I just feel like this is going to be a high-scoring game where Justin Herbert has to let it fly to Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Will Dissly, and I don't see J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards having a big game here. And what even made me more nervous last week was they got down to the goal line, and I saw Hassan Haskins get 2 goal line carries, and I was like, pulling my hair out. What is going on? And then J.K. Dobbins scored on the fourth down play, which was huge. But still, seeing him get those looks worries me at the goal line work for these guys as well, too, here. I'm staying away from the Chargers in a very tough matchup versus the run. The 6-5 Fighting Spirit Denver Broncos, led by Bo Nix, who is absolutely balling, and it's time to start believing that he is the best rookie quarterback in this class. They're headed in to face the 2-8 Las Vegas Raiders, who are looking to get Shadur Sanders in the draft. Their season is completely over, guys. Now, this is an interesting play here, again, because BYEMAGGEDON, so many running backs are out, right? So when I'm looking, I know Javonte Williams saw more work the last week than Audric Estime saw more work versus the Chiefs with the number one run D, and he looked pretty good. So in this matchup right here, if you need a flex play, right, because just so many people want to buy, I'm going to say it's okay to flex either Javonte Williams or Audric Estime. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But when you look at the matchup, the Raiders are 26th versus the running back. They give up 25 points a game. They're 27th in the red zone. That's 5th worst in the NFL. 101.2 rushing yards they give up because their offense doesn't move the ball. Their defense is so tired when they get out there. Teams just run them over at the end of the game. And they give up about a 0.8, 80% chance for a touchdown every single game for a running back. So can Audric Estime or Javonte Williams fall in the end zone here in this game? Of course they can. Do I love it or hate it? No, I don't, because Jaleel McLaughlin's still a little involved here and there. It's kind of a 3-headed rotation. You're kind of gambling on which touchdown you're going to get. But again, the matchup is great, and I'm okay starting or flexing either one of them. On to the Raiders side here. So Alexander Mattison, Zamir White, both got banged up last week, not at practice. You could pick up Amir Abdullah. Do I like it versus the Denver Broncos? No, I don't. You could pick up Dylan Labe, see what happens there, see if they want to see what they have in their rookie down the stretch with their, season being over. But this is one of the best defenses in football. If they have any, smidge of a weak point, it is the run game. They rank 15th. They give up 22 points. They rank 9th in the red zone, so about a top 11 to 12 defense all the way around. 80.5 yards allowed, which is top 5 as well. So it's a touchdown every other game. And when you have the Raider offense and you got Jacoby Myers probably going to get locked up by PS2, it's probably going to be Brock Bowers and nothing else here. And that's the only thing I like for the Raiders this week. The 4-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Big Mike Evans back are headed into MetLife to take on the New York Giants, who are 2-8. Their season's over. They're probably playing for a quarterback next year as well. Now, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's to the point now, and you could say that Chris Godwin and Mike Evans were out, so they used them more. I don't think that's going to matter. It's to the point now where you can start both these running backs. They're averaging about 10 points a pop over the past 3 games. They've both been out there. The workload is absolutely amazing for both of them. And if anything, Mike Evans will open up the box a little bit even to help him more. So I'm going to say Bucky and Rachaad White are a start in this game. You're going up against the New York Giants, who are 18th versus the running back, giving up 23 points a game. They are a good front 7, so they get better in the red zone. They're about 11th in the red zone. And they give up 116.9 yards rushing, which is second worst in the NFL. Fire me up, the Bucs this week. I think Rachaad White and Bucky are both going to have great games, and both should be mid RB2s. Heading to the Giants side here, this is my guy of the week, Tyrone Tracy. It's the highest I've ever ranked him. I ranked him as my running back 8 this week. And I know you have Tommy DeVito out there. I think Tommy DeVito is going to help this offense, honestly. So, and for the Bucs, Tristan Wirfs, their left tackle superstar, also practiced today. Should majorly help Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. Now, for Tyrone Tracy, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is where they struggle is the run. They're 28th versus the run, giving up 25.6 points, 28th in the red zone, high touchdown upside, 91 yards allowed in a touchdown every other game. Devin Singletary has been phased out of this offense, and I watched Tyrone Tracy destroy the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which is one of the best, and he did that with an injury at the end of the game. So I'm not worried about any team. This was my sleeper pick of the year. All year long was Tyrone Tracy, and I'm going to pat myself on the back because I love seeing my guy from Iowa ball out. Smash this guy into your lineup this week. The Dallas Cowboys season has come to an end. They are heading in to face the Commanders, who are 7-4, fighting for their playoff life here. Well, not fighting; they're trying to advance their, status right now. Coming off 2 losses though, so when looking at this game, 44.5 over under. Cowboys, massive injuries across the board, and dude, they're not going to be able to run the ball probably for the rest of the season, guys. So if you own Rico Dowdle, when you got that Jerry Jones update of Rico Dowdle is going to be our guy and it's going to be the 3-down back. He only played like 50% of the snaps. They're going to be down in most games. He's not a bad receiving back, not great receiving back, about in the middle. If you need the dart play throw because BYEMAGGEDON week, you can throw it out there. I don't love it in any single way, shape, or form. The Washington Commanders defense has gone from bottom of the barrel to start the season. About 3 weeks in, they were 30th. Now they rank 19th and 15th. 15th in the red zone, allowing 23 points on the season a game to the running back position. Dan Quinn, head coach of the year for sure. And he's made this defense 10 times better since switching to single high. But what you're looking at here is they do allow 123 rush yards, right? So that's second worst behind the Carolina Panthers. But you got to remember that's with the season where they just got crushed in the first 3 games, right? Saquon Barkley, right, goes bananas on it, right? So temper those numbers a little bit because the defense is getting better, and they are getting Marshawn Lattimore possibly back this week. I haven't seen the update on it, but he was close last week. Now, on to the Commander side. This is like a fantasy football mistake people make, and I'm going to try and break it down nicely here. So Brian Robinson Jr. is going to be on my smash plays this week, 100%. So we're talking about the Cowboys first. The Dallas Cowboys are 30th versus the running back. They give up 27.3 points, 25th in the red zone, giving up 7.5 to the running back a game, 111 yards, bottom 10, 1.3 touchdowns a game. Now, everyone's going to be riding high off that Austin Eckler game last week, but Austin Eckler last week was in a game script where they were down big. So all of his work was done with 9 receptions and 89 yards receiving. He only had 2 carries for 7 yards. Now, I have him in yellow still because BYEMAGGEDON week here. I don't see Austin Eckler getting maybe 5, 6, 7 touches in this game because they're not going to need the pass back work playing against the Dallas Cowboys here. They're probably going to have the lead with Cooper Rush at quarterback. So if you need to throw out a flex with Austin Eckler, you can. I don't love it by any mean because he did it all in the receiving game last week when they were down. So you have to know these things going in. So I don't really love it this week, but could he fall in the end zone? If they blow him out, could he see more work? Of course, right? So that's why I'm leaving him in yellow as a flex play. But it's definitely not a smash play here because it's not a game script that is meant for Austin Eckler. This is meant more for Brian Robinson this week. The Miami Dolphins are hosting the New England Patriots, trying to save their playoff hopes this week. And my God, we got to pause for a second here. So if you've been a subscriber to my channel or you've known any videos I post, Devon Achane is my guy. I call myself the founder last year in fantasy football. That could be argued however you want, but most people would say that. So asked for my formal apology on Twitter today from everybody. Everybody told me Devon Achane's not going to be worth the draft capital. He's going to get hurt, blah, 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 blah. He would be RB1 right now if Tua wasn't hurt for those games. He can handle a full workload, and he might get 100 receptions this year. So it's good to see everyone coming back with their little apologies on Twitter. Now, no matter what, I don't care what I'm talking about, my guy, who he's playing. It never was Raheem Mostert. It was a $10 million wasted extension of his contract. I don't even know why they kept him on the roster when they drafted Jalen Wright. They should have just tried to trade him and get a piece there. You're getting the New England Patriots right here. He has a chance for RB1 this week. The New England Patriots are ranked. I have his RB3 on the week, by the way, behind CMC and Barkley. New England Patriots give up 23.3 points. They rank 21st on the season. They rank 24th in the red zone, giving up 7.5. 116.10, bottom 10 there, and a touchdown a game. Fire up the hurricane. The season is here. And even when I'm looking at the Patriots here, I'm going to go with Ramondre Stevenson is a start here. And I haven't really had him back on the start list. You know, he had that little injury. He wasn't getting the full workload. But past 2 games here, what have you seen? You've seen him get 20 touches back to back here. So the volume is too hard to ignore, especially on a BYEMAGGEDON week. The matchup is, it's the Dolphins have gotten better. So they were bottom. They still ranked 24th versus the running back, 26th in the red zone, 92.9 yards per game, which is middle of the tier, and a touchdown a game. But since they've found this little playoff life, you know, they're trying to get back into the playoffs to get these wins. This defense is playing a lot tougher. I mean, they held Kyren Williams down. So obviously a better situation than Ramondre Stevenson for Kyren Williams, right? But I'm still going to throw Ramondre out there as a start because you can't ignore 25, 21 touches in the past 2 weeks. You just can't. Drake May playing a little better. I'm still going to throw Ramondre out there, possible touchdown upside in the game. But again, that Dolphin defense, man, they're playing with a lot of energy right now. One of the games I cannot wait to see, Sunday Night Football. Philadelphia Eagles headed into the Los Angeles Rams here. And this is going to be awesome. 2 star-studded running backs. Saquon Barkley, the highest ranker of Saquon Barkley on the planet, is sitting right here. You're watching the video. My guy I knew was going to be an absolute stud. Ranked him behind CMC. If I knew CMC was hurt, I would have put him at number 1. So that would have been absolute nails there. I would have had both of them, man, if CMC would have just stayed there. But you're getting the LA Rams here. This is an absolute smash matchup. He's my number 1 running back on the week. The LA Rams defense has gotten better, though. Like I said, they're like the Commanders. As the season went on, they got better. They got healthier. Coaching changes were made. Or not coaching changes. Coaching strategies were made, and they've gotten better. So they ranked 12th versus the running back at 21.3, 8th in the red zone, so the top 10 run D. 100 yards allowed, which is middle of the tier, and a touchdown every other game. But you have Saquon Barkley. You got to worry about A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, one of the best offensive lines. I don't care what it is. Saquon Barkley will rip, dip, flip, jump over you backwards, and he'll find the end zone in this game. Kyren Williams, Los Angeles Rams. I love seeing that Blake Corum there in red, man. If people weren't dicks in comments, like on my Twitter, when the season started and been like, oh, Blake Corum's going to take his job and Blake Corum this, I wouldn't give you shit back. But then when you get the shit back from me, you got to be able to take it and like man up. That's what fantasy football is about, transparency. You got to be able to take the hits with the misses. I do it live, man. And people can't even answer in comments. It never was going to be Blake Corum. It never will be Blake Corum unless Kyren Williams is hurt. We need to get that just settled. This guy had CMC numbers last year, and people were yelling at me about Blake Corum. You know, take his job. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. They've all gone to ghost town now. Now you're getting the Philadelphia Eagles here. This is a top 5 run D. They're number 5 versus the run, number 2 in the red zone, so the top 3 to 4 defense overall. 77 yards allowed, top 5.3 touchdowns, so 3 touchdowns every 10 games. This is a great defense. But again, this is going to be a superstar shining game. I'm taking the Rams to upset this game, and I think it's going to be one of the highest scoring games of the week, and I'm throwing all the defense out the window. Throwing it out the window. Kyren Williams has been too quiet for too many weeks in a row here. He is going to bounce back and explode in this game, and I'm starting both these running backs with confidence, and they're both in my baller tier this week in my top 6 running backs. All systems green, monster division rivalry with the 6-4 Cardinals holding the top of the NFC West with every other team at 5-5. Seattle, 49ers, Rams, all of them. This is a monster game here. I honestly need the Seahawks to win this game. But this is going to be a game, all systems green, where the running backs absolutely shine. So, went to Kenneth Walker first. We go James Conner first, Trey Benson, another rookie who is the handcuff. Should have done that. Now, James Conner has just been destroying fantasy football against insane matchups this year, guys. And this is why you subscribe to the channel, because I told you on that bye week to buy every single Arizona Cardinal you could. They had the toughest stretch in fantasy football this year for the first 10 games. Just listen to this. Buffalo Bills, Super Bowl contender. LA Rams, playoff team. Detroit Lions, Super Bowl contender. Washington Commanders, playoff team, possible contender. 49ers, Super Bowl contender. Green Bay Packers, Super Bowl contender. LA Chargers, Super Bowl contender. Miami, fighting for a playoff life. Chicago and the New York Jets, both top 5 run defenses. And he's still RB16 now. The floodgates are about to open. You're about to get Seattle. Minnesota's going to be tough after that. But then Seattle, New England, Carolina, Rams. This is why you went out and bought Kyler Murray. This is why you went out and bought Marvin Harrison. This is why you went out and bought James Conner. I can only lay out the groundwork. The rest is up to you guys. He is going to smash the rest of the way. And you get the Seattle Seahawks here. Their defense is fraudulent. Versus the running back, they rank 22nd. They give up 24 points a game, 120 yards on the ground, which is in the top 5 worst. That's 4th. And a touchdown every single game. And James Conner is an absolute monster at running back. He's going to find the end zone in this game. I'm almost guaranteeing it. And on to the Seattle Seahawks side, Kenneth Walker. He's going to smash in this game. This is going to be a heavy dose of superstar running backs in this game. I've been saying that in a couple of my rankings videos as well here. So anytime K9 gets DK back, he's about a 15-point average. You get the Arizona Cardinals defense, who has gotten better, but the Arizona Cardinals defense is better at home. They're not better on the road. And versus the running back, they rank 25th. They give up 25 points a game. They rank 16th in the red zone, giving up 108.1 yards a game to the running back position, which is around 15th. And they give up a 70% chance of a touchdown a game. You don't think K9 is going to find the end zone? This game's over-under is way too low for me. I think it's going to be way higher than what it's set at right now at 47.5. I see this high 31-27, 30-27, 31-28, somewhere around there. I would take the over from a betting man, and you're smashing both these running backs this week as absolute stud plays. Last but not least, my 49ers need a win so bad. We're headed into Lambeau 5-5. We've owned the Packers for a long time, so I'm expecting us to get a win here. But when I'm looking at this game, Christian McCaffrey, are you ever going to sit this guy? No, you're not when he's healthy. People are like in a panic mode of, is Christian McCaffrey still Christian McCaffrey? He just missed 10 weeks with Achilles tendonitis in both of his freaking legs and came back and got 100+ yards in both games. Stop panicking. The CMC is going to get you 100 yards every single game, and you know the touchdown is coming soon. You get the Green Bay Packers here. The Green Bay Packers are middle of the pack versus the run. They rank 16th. They give up 22 points a game. They rank bottom of the tier in the red zone, ranking 22nd, so the touchdown upside is high. They give up 100 yards on the ground, let alone the receiving work that CMC does every single game. And there's an 80% chance of a touchdown. 0.8 every single game. So you're firing up CMC. He's going to smash this week, and we're going to beat the Packers, man. On to the Josh Jacobs side. The injuries are piling up for the 49ers. Tre'Davious Ward looks to be back this week, hopefully. Nick Bosa, I haven't seen the update on. That was costly last week. I think it cost us the win, honestly, losing Bosa. But Josh Jacobs just went out and absolutely destroyed. And he's one of the reasons I said you should be buying this guy in fantasy football. It's cold weather time. It's big bruising back time. I know he's not that tall. He's still 5'10", but he's still like a 230-pound back. I don't buy the 220 or whatever they put him at. He looks a lot heavier than that. Goes at Chicago in the cold, where Green Bay loves to play in the cold, and just absolutely ran over one of the best run defenses for 23 fantasy points, 76 yards, 58 yards to the air. And he had like another 40-yard catch call back. Could have had like 200 yards in this game. Josh Jacobs is going to be a nightmare for us to stop. The 49ers are struggling versus the run. This is our weak spot right now. We rank 17th, giving up 22.7 points a game, 30th in the red zone. Very high touchdown upside for Josh Jacobs in this game. They give up a touchdown a game to the running back. You're smashing both these guys. And I honestly think the over-under in this game is just like the game I was talking about before with the Seattle Cardinals. I think it's way higher. So when I'm looking at the 49ers at 47.5, every Green Bay game, even the playoff games, are high scoring between these teams. When you get Shanahan and LaFleur out there, magic's going to happen. Points are going to fly across the board. You're starting almost everyone in this game. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is my running back, stardom, sit-em, every single matchup for you guys on BYEMAGGEDON here. Before we head out, guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Make sure you smash that subscription. It helps me out a ton. Remember to turn that bell on. I will be live this whole week starting tomorrow. I might even play a little Fortnite tonight if I get all these videos done. But I'll be live tomorrow for the shows. I'll be live early in the morning tomorrow with the Scott Fish special. And then I will be live for the kickoff Thursday, and then every single night after with Content Creators Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So if you guys can't make any of the shows, you can always drop any questions you want down below. I try to answer every single one of them. That's one of my goals as a content creator this year for you guys, to help you win that championship and get you that weekly win. It's almost playoff time. It is crunch time. And all my ranking videos are out. All I have left is my tight end stardom sit-ems. I'll get to that next. It's going to be a quick one because there's not that many tight ends playing this week, and I'll run through a couple quick, tight ends that you're not going to play. So we'll look through those. But that's it for me in this video, guys. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for all the support. SleezBall out.